Hello everyone and welcome to the 7th episode of The Good, The Bad, and The Fugly, a weekly video series in which we quickly sum up our game reviews from the past week at GamingUnion.net. My name is Brian and I'm here with Lauren and Daryl.
On The Good, The Bad, and The Fugly, or GBF, we give short descriptions and our basic verdict of each game we've reviewed in the last 7 days.
These shows will be short and to the point, and if you want more info on any of the games we talk about, be sure to check out the full review on GamingUnion.net.
This episode will be summing up our game reviews from April 2nd to the 8th, 2011. Evolution Studios is back with the newest installment in the wildly popular PS3 franchise, MotorStorm Apocalypse. This time around, they decided to throw in some semblance of a story, but its implementation is rather weak and redundant. However, the story is not what makes MotorStorm a great franchise. That would be given to the gameplay, and MotorStorm Apocalypse doesn't disappoint. The course designs are completely dynamic, unique, and actually evolve as you race through them. The replay value behind this title is simply insane. Even though the handling and drifting capabilities haven't changed much since the beginning, we found that the ever-changing environments quickly took our focus off such issues. Simply put, MotorStorm Apocalypse has been given an 8 out of 10. If you love the other games, you have no reason not to get in on this amazing sequel.
Even if you're a fan of Ratchet & Clank, Sly Cooper, or Jak and Daxter, we urge you to use caution if you're thinking about picking up the latest PlayStation Move game, PlayStation Move Heroes. The story is simple, as the characters from these 3 games are sucked into a wormhole and end up in a land where they are supposed to compete in a tournament. Unfortunately, that's the extent of it. In addition, there are only 5 different challenge types that you'll have to repeat 10 times. If that wasn't bad enough, some of the challenges are so reminiscent of minigames from the Wii that it's borderline theft. The gameplay is dry and boring, the graphics are subpar, and there's no chance of exploration in this world. Even the multiplayer fails at adding replay value to the title. Our 4 out of 10 says it all. Leave this title alone.
Baseball fans, your must-have game has been waiting in the batter's box and is ready for you to play. We're talking about none other than MLB 11, the show for the PS3. This time around, Sony has really taken the time to make the game phenomenal. With a franchise that has such a great foundation, the excellence is found in the details. This installment features the new addition of analog controls for just about everything. The physics engine has gotten a boost and everything looks phenomenal. The Road to the Show campaign is rock solid and is great for people who want to take a custom ball player from being a nobody in the minor leagues to a superstar in the majors. It also doesn't hurt that the presentation is slick and well polished. You may have guessed it already, but MLB 11, the show, has gotten our stamp of approval with a 9 out of 10. We simply can't find any substantial reason for you to pass this up.
If you like strange and unique stories, you might just love the newest PSP game from Square Enix, The Third Birthday. You'll take control of Aya Brea, an agent for a group called CTI who has the ability to overdrive, which allows her to take control of other people's bodies. Aya sets out to figure out her forgotten past. The game is long with plenty of plot twists, so be prepared. The gameplay can become a bit hairy with the poor camera, as it has a habit of going crazy and uncontrollable for no particular reason. However, even though the capabilities of the PSP are limiting, they still manage to pump out some truly breathtaking visuals and fantastic vocal performances from the actors. It's surprising that The Third Birthday isn't a console title with its massive story. We've seen fit to give it a 7 out of 10. Put simply, the story is engaging, but the narrative can be confusing and the gameplay is hit and miss. It's not a title for everyone, but you may just like it.
Titles for the Nintendo 3DS are making their way to shelves, and Tecmo Koei has brought us their newest title, Samurai Warriors Chronicles. You play as a nameless warrior who is travelling around in an attempt to find out about his past, all the while being thrown into a battle for control over feudal Japan. It may sound intriguing, but it falls short and never brings you into the drama. Samurai Warriors is all about hack and slash, and you'll be utilising your button mashing skills as you undertake different objectives while on the battlefield. However, for all its action, Samurai Warriors Chronicles has a massive amount of RPG elements in the mix. To say the very least, grinding is something you will find yourself doing a lot, whether you want to or not. In addition, the epic scale of the war that the game is trying to convey is severely lost on the Nintendo 3DS's screen, and it's just too small to make the experience feel expansive. Add in the shoddy camera work and you can definitely see why we're giving Samurai Warriors Chronicles a 6 out of 10. There are some great elements in here, but they're met with equally bad elements too. Will this be the game for you? Give it a try to find out.
If there's something strange in your neighborhood, you'd do well to call Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters Sanctum of Slime is the newest game for the PC, PSN, and Xbox Live Arcade. However, fans of the classic film do well to hold off on this one. Instead of taking up the cause of the original crew, you actually will be controlling one of 4 rookies, as the original cast members are off taking care of more important tasks. This top-down shooter doesn't offer much in the way of diversity or variation, as the levels quickly become tedious and repetitive. The presentation is mediocre, if not downright boring. The oblivious AI makes the game even harder to get into. Even though the multiplayer is fun and can help you through the more brutal moments in the game, it hasn't done much to change our mind in giving it a 4 out of 10. Even if you're a die-hard Ghostbusters fan, we would highly recommend that you ignore this one.
Square Enix just released a new PSN game called Moondiver, a side-scrolling hack-and-slasher that is fast-moving and incredibly difficult. You take up arms as one of 4 different ninja fighters who are in a battle to save the world against Faust, a boy who is hell-bent on destroying humanity. Even though the story sounds simple, the execution and presentation of it is confusing as hell. The gameplay is extremely fast-paced and unforgiving. Each death in single-player mode will send you back to the start of the level, even if you die facing the final boss. Enter multiplayer. Moondiver gives players the option to play with other people either locally or online. Playing with other people is truly the only way to conceivably get through the story mode without rage quitting completely. However, the game relies so heavily on playing with others that if the online community ever dies, and it's likely to do so, then playing the game will be infuriating. The presentation is well done on the whole, but may feel a little repetitive here and there. Our 6 out of 10 means that some people will love this type of game. However, if you have a small amount of patience, do yourself a favor and leave Moondiver alone.
To say that the world didn't like Okami would be a massive disservice. We all fell in love with the game, and the new installment is here on the DS called Okamiden. You take control of Chibi-Terasu, the son of Amaterasu, who you played in the previous game. Demons plague the land once again, and you take up arms to defeat them. Okamiden does a wonderful job of incorporating plot elements from the past games as well as new storylines for this title. The controls are simple and work very well, allowing players to concentrate on other parts of the game. Combat may take a little warming up to, but once you get the hang of it, it moves with deadly purpose. However, for all the good, the graphics and visual presentation just aren't up to the high standards that we've come to expect from the Okami franchise, even though this is a portable title. After lots of thought, we have given Okamiden a 7 out of 10. It's a good sequel to be sure, but maybe not the sequel we were hoping for.
There are days when we need to be able to relax and play a peaceful game to calm the nerves. For such days, Chime Super Deluxe for the PlayStation Network may just be what you need. This puzzle game tasks you with filling up sections of the puzzle map with certain colors. Each puzzle is based around the music you choose. What's interesting is that the music will evolve as you progress in the puzzle. However, after you hear all the tracks, there is a good possibility that you'll find them getting old. But each experience is quite dynamic. The visual presentation is fairly basic, and while that may seem like a bad thing, it actually helps cement the gameplay without all the distractions of overdone graphics. Multiplayer has been added, and even though it's fun, it's disappointing that it's only local and not online. The game may be a little short, but our score of 8 out of 10 still stands strong. This will be a great experience for you puzzle fans.
Ridge Racer is a tried and true racing franchise, so it's hard to say that we were surprised to see it making its way to the 3DS. By taking up the Grand Prix mode, you'll find yourself working up from Grandma's old clunker all the way to supercars. However, the tracks can feel a little repetitive with only minor changes here and there. If you've played Ridge Racer in the past, you can expect no changes to the gameplay here. The action is fast-paced and timing is everything. From a visual perspective, Ridge Racer 3D is rather disappointing. Even though the 3D aspect works well, the console should be capable of so much more, and this installment just doesn't try and coax out the best. Our score of 7 out of 10 means that Ridge Racer 3D isn't a bad game for the 3DS, but we're fairly confident that we'll see better installments in the future. And that wraps up this episode of The Good, The Bad, and The Fugly. We have an exciting list of reviews for next week, so make sure to check back in. If you want any more info on any of the games we talk about, be sure to check out the full reviews on GamingUnion.net.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast feed to keep up to date with all our shows. Just search for the Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts Union podcast channel on iTunes.
Or you can download the episodes directly off of GamingUnion.net.
If you have comments, suggestions, or discussion points, feel free to join us on the forums or follow us on Twitter. Our account is twitter.com/gamingunion. Until next time, my name is Brian.
I'm Daryl.
And I'm Lauren.
And this has been a GamingUnion.net and TweaksMusic.com production.